what's funny? I was yesterday years old when I realized how toxic golfing is. Did you know that golf is racist? I bet you didn't. Golf was a bastion for misogyny and racism. It was. I did not know that. I actually saw it mentioned in the TV show Hacks. Golf was literally a white man's sport. 100%. The golf clubs, no people of color and no women. Right up into the 80s, guys. And some of them, like Pine Valley. Look at this. It's a golf club in southern New Jersey. It's the #1 ranked golf course in the United States. They did not allow women until 2021. Isn't that crazy? That's 3 years ago, guys. That's so toxic. So I did not realize there are still men's only golf clubs in the U.S., and golf was incredibly racist. No blacks allowed. No women allowed. Golf is an institution explicitly aligned with white supremacy and with misogyny. It was a white man's institution. And so that's really interesting, you know, how it's the Masters tournament. And I'm really intrigued about the name. The original Augusta National Golf Club started on a plantation. The idea for the Augusta National originated with Bobby Jones, who wanted to build a golf course after his retirement from the game. He sought advice from Clifford Roberts, who later became the chairman of the club. They came across a piece of land in Augusta, Georgia. The land had been an indigo plantation in the early 19th century. Golf was originally a game that was played by the masters, as in the slave masters. And yes, look at this. Augusta National. No African American members were allowed until 1990, and no women members until 2012. And look at this. Augusta National, the Masters tournament. All the caddies were black. The club required all caddies to be black for its white members. Dude, this is insane, bro. Golf is racist. It is. It is a racist, sexist institution. Everything about it stemmed from slavery and but this is crazy, bro. When you talk about America's sense of discord, America's lack of awareness or connection with our past, because you still have golf being this sport that presidents participate in and that rich men still participate. It's like the thing to do. But when you look at golf, the institution is rooted in slavery, just like Wall Street is rooted in slavery. And just like the police departments in America, American policing is rooted in slavery. It's true. Almost all America is in some way or another. Absolutely. And like, we need to detangle this. This is something that we, as modern Americans, we have to find a way to disengage and unentangle all those institutions. We really do, or we're never going to have peace. It's up to us. It starts with awareness. We've kind of started doing it. Removing Confederate statues and stuff. Getting rid of the Confederate flag. No one's going to carry a Confederate flag anymore. There's going to be huge pushback if you do that. We used to not have that level of awareness, but it's really gross. People might not realize this, how still there's a legacy of this in a lot of inner cities. It's so shitty, guys, but if you go to predominantly black neighborhoods, oftentimes the schools in those black neighborhoods are actually named after slave owners. It's not uncommon to find a Jefferson Elementary School or a Jefferson High School or Washington Elementary, Jackson Elementary, Andrew Jackson. The guy shouldn't be on a $20 bill. No fucking school in a black neighborhood should be called Jackson Elementary. It's toxic. We need to do better. The Masters never felt good or even sounded good when you asked black golfers to weigh in on the name of the tournament. Also, tradition and history substantiate it's rooted in slavery and it shouldn't be preserved and honored. Even the biggest golf tournament in America, rooted in slavery. We should have an education about how racist and misogynist the history of golf is, and we should try to shatter all of that in some way. Augusta National was built on grounds that were once a slave plantation and was the property of a slave owner. According to a 2019 New Yorker piece about the course, it's believed that enslaved blacks were housed on the property. Of course they were. It was a indigo plantation. And be honest, when you hear anyone say the Masters, you think of slave masters in the South. There's nothing else. The only thing worse than the name of the event is the actual venue itself, Augusta National. The golf course where it's held annually held long racist and sexist policies. Augusta National admitted no African American members until 1990, no women members until 2012. The club long required all caddies to be black and banned black golfers from the Masters tournament until Lee Elder in 1975. Invitation only. There's no application. Membership costs between $100 and $300 grand. You ready? Look at this. The co-founder Roberts, who served as the club's chairman, the words of the owner: "As long as I'm alive, all the golfers will be white and all the caddies will be black." This is the golf club. The founder of this golf club, like everything else, like the founding fathers of America, it's racist. There was another one, was the foundation of the Masters tournament. So before 1983, staff caddies were assigned to the players at the Masters. All four majors and some tour events required the use of the host club's caddies. Augusta employed only black men as caddies. We're going to have to look at this guy. Roberts killed himself in 1977. The guy who started this golf club shot himself at 83. Jesus Christ, dude. 83 years old. He shoots himself. It's so toxic. Dude, I think a lot of people don't even realize that this institution was so rooted in racism. It's weird. I'm super passionate about this. This is one of the things we need to do, is we need to dismantle all these institutions that were rooted in racism and rooted in slave ownership. It wasn't until 1982 that players were allowed to use their own caddies. Prior to 1982, every time they had a Masters tournament at Augusta National, a golf course that was built on an indigo plantation, it was all white guys playing golf with black caddies, all black caddies. Dude, it's crazy. 1975, they did finally let a black person play in the Masters tournament. Dude, it's wild, but it's still intrinsically tied in here. This discrimination and exclusion of black people from the sport of golf is a painful reminder of the systemic racism that has persisted for centuries. The history of Augusta National and the Masters tournament has long glorified the white hunters while ignoring the struggles and achievements of black golfers. The African proverb, "When you follow in the path of your father, you learn to walk like him," comes to mind, as the institution of slavery has left a dark stain on the history of Augusta National. And that's what it was. That's why they named it the Masters. When they changed the name in 1939, they said it was because of the people who were masters of golf, but it wasn't. These guys were rooted in slavery. They designed a course on a piece of property that was a slave plantation. They had all white members, white men, and all black caddies for the entire time, right up until the 80s. White men golfing, black men carrying the clubs on a former slave plantation. It's time to acknowledge that the Masters has a problematic history and it's time for change. It's important to acknowledge the past and the harmful association the name Masters carries. And that's it, bro. I literally just learned about this yesterday. I think if we really want to change this country, if we really want to heal the division, we have to start acknowledging all of this stuff that is rooted in racism and has these racist beginnings, and we need to shatter it and just completely blow it apart. Still to this day, though, Augusta National Golf Course is a for-profit corporation, so it doesn't disclose anything, the holdings, the membership, the income, none of it. Because it's a for-profit corporation, it's able to exist still in this crazy shrouded realm. To this day, golf is predominantly a white male sport. There was Tiger Woods, right? There's some data that says that it's 77% male, 80% white, according to a 2015 Golf Diversity and Inclusion report. Among professional golfers, 75% are male, 86% white. And golf industry workers, everyone from caddies to greenskeepers, are 90% male, 88% white. You love Tiger Woods? That's great. And I think it's great that Tiger Woods is out there. But here's the problem. The problem is somebody like Tiger Woods becomes a mega champion, but it's this illusion because when you look at the numbers, everybody in the system is white. And there's these institutions of even the tournament, the Masters, originated at a golf course built on a slave plantation until 1982 required all the white golfers to have all black caddies. The racial institution of this is crazy. It's so rooted in racism and our history of slavery. And we need to jar that loose. Now, it's problematic because you could say that sports in general is still a legacy of this. You look at all these sports like football and basketball, where they're, 70% black men, the people under contract, but all of the ownership is white. There's no black owners. We're starting to finally have black head coaches, but there's no black owners. And in the NBA, the only black owner was a minority stake owner, and he was literally the best basketball player in the history of basketball. That's what he had to do to become a minority stake owner. He had to be the greatest athlete of all time. But any white guys with some bucks who've never even picked up a basketball can own a basketball team. And so we got to figure out a way to acknowledge the racism in this. I mean, it's weird. Amongst white men with money, golf is this hugely popular thing. You see white men with money, what do? They go golfing together. But I wonder if they know how rooted in racism it is. Are they aware of it? Or do they all love it because whenever they go golfing, it's just everyone there are white men with money, Maybe that's why they love it, because it's just like, God, why do we feel so at home here? Because it's literally everybody there is you. Shoal Creek, this is in Alabama. Designed by Jack Nicklaus, 1977. Invitation-only private club. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there should be private clubs. I think these invitation-only private clubs, they're problematic. So up until 1990, Shoal Creek had no African-American members. And then the club founder commented that the club would not be pressured to accept black members, stating, "This is our home and we pick and choose who we want." Jesus. These comments made prior to the 1990 PGA Championship made the tournament front page news as civil rights groups threatened to protest the event and sponsors pulled advertising. PGA considered moving the tournament away from Shoal Creek, but in the end reached a compromise. Local insurance executive Louis Willie was invited by the mayor of Birmingham to become an honorary member with full membership to come after the waiting list period. Willie was the first black member. So they let in one black guy. And then everyone's like, okay, you're going to let in one guy and we're just going to pretend this whole tournament and sport and your club isn't just entirely filled with racist skullduggery. So the incident forced everyone associated with golf to look at minority access in the sport. That was 1990. Bro, I was 21 in 1990. In 1994, 4 years after the 1990 incident, Willie was still the only black member. In October of that year, Tiger Woods won the individual college championship by 2 strokes, led Stanford to a team victory at the intercollegiate tournament held at Shoal Creek. So when Tiger Woods, sensational black golfer, leads Stanford to a victory at Shoal Creek, 1994, 4 years after the first black man was allowed to be a member that way, and he was only a member because sponsors threatened to leave. Regards to membership, Shoal Creek has welcomed 2 African-American women and some Jewish members. Holy shit, bro. It's so toxic, dude. Yeah, well, I don't think he's really changed golf that much. I'm not dissing Tiger Woods' success. I think it's great. It's amazing that he's been able to be successful, but the entire sport and all these golf clubs that are still all white men, still super toxic. Tiger Woods has not changed much. He's changed as much as Obama did by becoming president. Obama, amazing. A black man became president of the nation founded on slavery, but look at who we're battling now. One of the most racist motherfuckers out there, Donald Trump, who's racist dog whistle after dog whistle after dog whistle, hanging out with Nick Fuentes and other white supremacists. And look at Donald Trump. You ready? This is what we got after the first black president that we thought is gonna really change. Right? What do we got? Look at this. Here's Trump. This is what we got after Obama. We get a black president. Oh, the world's changed, but now look at Donald Trump.
Honestly, there's been no president since Abraham Lincoln, and perhaps in a certain way, including Abraham Lincoln, but there's been no president since Abraham Lincoln that has done more for the black individual in this country than President Donald J. Trump. There's been nobody, not even close.
Dude, what is that? He had one black person in his entire cabinet, Ben Carson, that he put in HUD. Guy had no HUD experience, but he put him in the urban department of government. He had avowed white supremacists in his cabinet. He defended Proud Boys. He's been busted multiple times for racial discrimination in his own properties. His father was arrested at a KKK meeting. This guy hasn't done Central Park 5, the birther with Obama, trying to dismantle everything the black president did after he became president. And he's sitting here saying there's been no president since Abe Lincoln, and in fact, including Abe Lincoln, that has done more for black people than this. This is what we have after a black president. Wow.